Okay, Darren here. I'm going to make a new video on Meguiars Quik interior detailer. I'm on a car that I see every week. Yes, as I say, there's people out there that have their cars detailed once a week. This is one of them. For most guys starting in the business, this will not be your world. I could make 100 different videos on this car alone, but it just doesn't represent the reality of most people's world. And trust me, it was not my world. And I'll share a little story with you. I remember the first time I showed up to a car like this. And obviously, a person like this has a very healthy disposable income because this is his weekend car. He only takes it on the weekend. It doesn't get driven during the week. And there's some weekends he doesn't even drive it, but I still do it. So at a level, back in the day, I would be like scared. It's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? The car looks perfect. I mean, literally, and I'm gonna show you, the car looks perfect. And it's like, well, how do I justify showing up and detailing a car on a car that already looks detailed? Well, that's where you have to learn, and that's part of dealing with what I call the winning combination, and that's the right kind of customer. The customer that shops value. He's not shopping, he's not a price shopper. He's not going to grind you. And you have to understand the world of the affluent, which is a diplomatic way of saying the world of the filthy rich. It is so different than my world, different than probably most of your worlds. They operate in a completely different universe than we do. They make decisions based on what they want, not how much it costs. They make decisions based on what is going to convenience their world and avoid inconvenience. That is how they make decisions. The rest of us, you and I, we always have to make decisions based on, geez, how much does it cost? Now I know how to shop value, but I always have to take cost into consideration. I'm very frugal. Some of my family members would call me just cheap. Now there is a difference. Sometimes you're just a cheap ass and then you're frugal. Trust me, there's a difference. And trust me when I say, just because you're loaded with money, I met many cheap asses that are loaded with money. This guy is not one of them. This guy is free-flowing with his money in a good way. I happen to be on the receiving end of that, so thank you very much, Mr. Customer. So this video, I'm going to, sorry, I always digress. It's not really digressing because hopefully you're still learning. Every one of my videos, hopefully I'm going to teach you more than just the obvious. But this video, because I made one on Quik interior detailer by Meguiars, the sound quality, I don't know what happened, whether it's a camera moment or my computer moment. Likely it was not a YouTube moment. So let's go in and let me just take you for a little tour because there's a few points I want to make. The first one is, this is what this car looks like when I show up every week. Most of you, like I said, I would assume if you're anything like me, you'd freak out. Now, what's so funny, and this is where I say communication is king, and I just accept, well, let's just put it this way, I just keep it real. So I actually joke with people. They say, oh, geez, Darren, yeah, have fun dusting my car off. It's like, well, yeah, this is how I like it. I want the clean cars. Like someone will come over, one of the vendors, whether it's the pool guy or the gardener, and they'll say, wow, nice to work on a car that's that clean. It's like, well, yeah, that's how I like them. Are you kidding? Who wants to do work? I get to work on a nice car and it already starts out clean. It's called maintenance detailing. So if you look in here, there's barely any brake dust, okay? Part of that is because they're ceramic brakes. That's a whole nother different world than traditional brakes. But there is brake dust, okay? The wheel wells have a layer now of dirt because I keep these wheel wells dressed, and I use hyper dressing that's a water-based dressing so it can be removed each time, because I want to remove it each time in order to redress it. But this is how this car looks. So let's look at the inside. See that carpeting? I mean, there's barely any dirt on it. But I know that this guy, whether he's wearing shorts, he's got bare hands, there's going to be some natural oils that get on the seats, on the steering wheel. Maybe he'll use the sun visor. He's certainly going to use the shifter, maybe the e-brake lever, even though it's made of carbon fiber. And yes, this is real carbon fiber, unlike the artificial kind. The threshold plate has some drips on it. Maybe he's gotten in, this is something about the Porsches, unless you've used them or detailed them, they've got these cool little cup holders that swing in and out. It's an easy thing to miss, so you have to check that, because let's say Johnny customer decides to drink some coffee from Starbucks, of course, you know, the overpriced high-end coffee. So let's say he dripped it, spilled it, whatever, took a crazy turn, next thing you know there's coffee spilled. Well, so even though it's this clean, that's the irony, and there's that word again, is that at this level there's like this added layer of stress. Let's call it stress, because it's so perfect. It's like, oh my gosh, if I don't get every detail right, it's just going to reveal itself, because the car is so perfect. But I'm okay with that. I mean, that, you know, everything has its trade-offs. As I tell my kids, everything has trade-offs. But I'll take this trade-off all day long. You know, it's a fabulous car. It's bitchin' looking. The work, it's still work. You know, I'm still crouching, bending down, wiping. You know, I'm still using my body. But it's pretty straightforward. You know, there's no real big strategy I have to employ here. I just have to remember to get all the details right. So there's certain areas, like this instrument cluster, that doesn't have a single lens over it. It's got individual lenses. You've got these little shelves up here that you've got to be able to get. You've got to be able to dust this off with the right materials, the right tools, product that's not going to scratch it or ruin it. So I'm going to show you things, and one of them is the Meguiars Quik interior detailer that a fellow viewer turned me on to. So just so you know, a lot of you make suggestions to me. Chances are there's a reason I'm not using that. Most commonly, it's just because the good news is that the industry is full of quality products. I don't have time to use them all, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys with, like, oh, let's say you ask for what is the best leather cleaner, and then I throw 20 different products at you that can all be used. Well, now I haven't really solved a problem for you. I've just confused you and overwhelmed you with choices. I don't want to do that. And I don't use 20 different products myself. I use basically a few products. Anyhow, so just to let you know, that's the quick answer as to why I'm probably not using something that you're going to recommend. But with that said, as someone recommended me this product, I may have tried it in the past, but I dug in a little deeper and realized, you know what? This is effective. And it's very effective on these types of cars, because this car is such limited use, it's in such perfect condition. So I'm going to cut this and get my setup, and we'll come back and I'll show you exactly what I mean.